Hello and welcome to the PMQ webinar series. I'm your host, Brian Hernandez, and today we're going to merge onto that information highway and find out how Hunger Rush can help us muscle for lane domination without suffering any road rage along the way. And yes, I'm sorry for all the analogies, but it's just one of those days, guys. Come on, roll with it. Here we go. So today we have some very knowledgeable speakers, Jamie Schwartz and Shay Najjar of Hunger Rush. Now, throughout Shay's career, she has built a proficient and celebrated client relations skill set and brings years of hands-on experience to Hunger Rush. Jamie leads the marketing direction and strategic vision for Hunger Rush and is an experienced technology marketing executive with over 16 years of experience in product marketing across a multitude of industries. These ladies are going to be our GPS on how digital is expanding, how disparate systems have led to wasted time and money, and why it is important that we all understand what is working well and what areas of your restaurant may need improvement as we all take that exit into 2021. Today, we'll let you know how to take back the steering wheel of your restaurant from a crazy time in history and drive off into the sunset. I will now hand over the keys to Jamie and Shay of Hunger Rush. Take it away, Jamie.
Well, thank you, Brian. I know who I need to go to next time I have a car question. So that is
no,
sure.
That's the limit of my car knowledge right there.
Well, thanks so much. Brian, it's been an absolute pleasure. For those that are just joining us, we've done quite a few webinars with Brian and PMQ this year. Today is actually our 20th webinar of 2020, so quite momentous from that standpoint. And we're just so excited you can join us today. So we're going to talk about some exciting things. We're going to talk about how digital ordering plays a key role in the future of restaurants, really the truth about the shift that's happening in our economy today and why it's so important to restaurant operators as well as to consumers. We're going to talk about self-service, a self-service model of what's really happening in the marketplace today. And we're going to talk about how to get more value from customer ordering habits, how to pivot quickly and frequently as we live in this crazy times of COVID as we are living in. And also what 2021 is going to bring. Some of the things that we've experienced, some of the knowledge that we've learned from the research that we've done, as well as a tremendous amount of feedback that we've gotten from all of our amazing customers, as well as folks like yourselves that are joining us today on this webinar. I'm super excited to have Shay join me today. Shay and I work pretty closely together. I on the product marketing side, her on the product development side. Shay is an anomaly at Hunger Rush. For those that are Hunger Rush customers, you probably know her from a variety of different roles. I mean, she's been tech support, she's been an installer, she's been the person that everybody goes to when they have a question and nobody else has to answer. So I'm super excited about her joining us today, and hopefully she can help answer some questions that you guys have with us as well. So let's take a look back at 2020. I think that's only the appropriate way for us to kind of kick off today's webinar. And, it's been an incredible year, right? So, I mean, in February, if you can remember that far back, I remember when global air travel was first restricted. As an avid traveler, I was like, no, not my trips. But, I didn't think that it was going to turn into what it has turned in. And I don't know that anybody has. We saw just a few weeks later, the U.S. declared a public health crisis. In May, we saw vaccine deals and negotiations. Those vaccine deals are still under negotiations. We saw the U.S. death toll pass 100K mark. In August, we started to get some good news up in New York, which was one of the first cities that was widely affected. So August came new reports of lower cases. The schools were lifting restrictions and starting to reopen. Restaurants were starting to have some ability to be able to reopen as well. And then here we are in November. The U.S. now has the highest number of cases across the globe. Levels in the EU, which were pretty low and contained, have now reopened again. And France, Germany, quite a few countries have already gone down into a lockdown again. And on top of everything else, we have a new president, right? So lots of things that have changed this year in kind of a volatile way, some for the good, some still with a lot of different question marks on it. And for restaurant operators, as well as companies like ourselves that support restaurant operators, it has definitely been a roller coaster of ups and downs. But one thing that we've learned from all of this is that digital is here to stay. Digital first is our new dogma for those that are our yogis out there. Change is really hard, but not changing. And we're seeing those that are a little bit maybe late to doing some adaptation is even harder. And for some of these folks, they may get left behind. And that's definitely not something that we want to see. So let's talk about what's important now. Earlier this year, for those of you that have joined us before, we did a virtual user conference back in September. We had Emily Knight Williams, the Texas Real Estate Association. She's the president and CEO. She joined us as one of our speakers, and we talked with her about what is really important with the way that these changes are affecting the restaurant business and what is going to be kind of those key factors moving forward. And through these conversations, there was a couple of key points that came out of this. And this is very much aligned with where we are at Hunger Rush. And one is showing value. As a restaurateur, even if you've shown value for a long time, you've got to do even more now because of the competition and the fact that we don't have the same amount of foot traffic that was once there prior to February. So showing value beyond the product experience. Digital experience. Digital is, again, here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So making sure that you have a digital footprint that's completely integrated into your restaurant operations. The ability to scale, and not just scale, but to be able to achieve those cost efficiencies. We hear this from operators all of the time that have had piece parts of those things, but not everything in totality. And so they want to know, what can I do more? How can I scale bigger, better, faster? And then off premise, food to go is a key revenue stream now, and I've been a channel that's not going to change. And we get questions every single day. How can I make my off premise business even better? And so that's what we're going to talk a little bit about, is some of these key things. And these all tie to one major factor that we've seen accelerate at lightning speed, and that's innovation. So with innovation, this is how restaurant operators are going to win. And not to say that you have to innovate completely, but we all have to innovate. Every type of industry that out there has had to make an adaptation to what they considered their true form of business from February to November 17th. And so there is a new way of operating that is rising to the top. And one of those things is off-premise everywhere. So the pivoting to off-premise and how you can use those digital tools are not going anywhere. They're going to be here for a long time, and they're going to move faster than ever. I mean, all of these things were already underway, but now the speed at which these things must be executed on is even more so. So from that, we've identified some things, at least here at Hunger Rush, and I would agree across quite a few of our, not just our competitors, but other folks that we engage with, research and tons of feedback from our customers. So what are the things that are going to be absolutely necessary for success in 2021? And that is the ability to be agile. So this comes down with being able to create more value. Already, a lot of restaurants have gotten super inventive. They've had to learn how to kind of think outside the box to things that they didn't think they were or having to try to figure out, like changing their dining room into a staging area for delivery. So a new executed approach to food service. Security and compliance are top of mind. I'm sure you guys have all seen just the amount of cyber attacks that have been taking place. Like we need one more thing to worry about. But platform security is going to be a big push forward, and making sure that you have all of those piece parts in place. The constant need for innovation and inventiveness. So really taking things to another level from an innovation standpoint, and being able to say, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do now? How can I compete more? How can I get more of that market share? And being able to do that within the channels that you have available to you. And to me, one of the biggest things, and I'm a little bit of a data nerd, is data. Data is so critically important, and having access to your data and knowing how to make the most out of that data is going to be a game changer for those that haven't done that in the past. And for those that are already doing those things, they're going to get even more, be able to extract even more value of that out of that, and be able to create an even stronger customer base and more loyal customers, and really build that brand centricity that we're all looking for. So let's talk a little bit more about how all of these things play together, right? So we have been living in a different era for some time now, not just since February. I mean, if you think back to even when 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, however old you are with us, back in the products, everything just been about, here's a widget, you sell the widget, and then you go on with your widget. Then it became about the product and the service. So here's your widget, and here's the person to help you with your widget. And then customer centricity started to become a thing, where there became really account managers to help with that widget. And then you had a customer service line that you could call. And then there was self-service desk. And now today, the relation, it's all about relationship centricity, not just between a product and a vendor, but between the product, the vendor, and the customer, and how all of these things come together and work so seamlessly. And we see that with lots of other companies out there that are already doing a great job with this. Amazon Prime, Netflix. If you're a pet owner, you may have Chewy.com. I mean, they do handwritten notes to you, checking on your pets after you've gotten food. It really takes it to the next level as far as that relationship centricity. And now that is going to be more important than ever as we go into 2021. One of the things that has also changed over the last really 10 to 15 years, and you're going to start seeing a tremendous more of this, is the way people have buy, right? The way that we all buy, not just the way that we buy technology, not just the way that we buy food, the way that we buy everything. We want speedier results. We want things that are a fully integrated platform. I mean, it's crazy to think that I get frustrated now if I have to wait talking to someone, even if it's a chat bot, for 30 seconds. I'm like, this is taking too long. Something's not working. We want constant improvement and innovation. We want to know that we're being heard. And we want to make sure that we have that expedited service. So there's been a shift taking place for some time. With COVID, it has just accelerated that shift to a whole new level. With that, this is how restaurants are responding. They understand that to go now is a key function of their restaurant operations. In many states, of course, alcohol to go is now an option. It used to just be in Louisiana, where I'm from, and we thought, well, we're the only ones that could do that. Now it's everywhere. It's being adopted because it's a necessity. Food label safety, security around that, right? People want to know that their food is securely labeled. They want to know that the way that they ordered the food and the way that they receive that food, that health concern is of the utmost scrutiny within that delivery method. And they also want to have flexibility. It's not so much about asking customers what they want anymore. Now it's about asking them how they want those things, right? So how do you want to order? Do you want to order online from me? Do you want to order in person from me? The way that we're ordering has completely changed. We've also had to make some adaptations around retail. We're starting to see different restaurants band together and get together to sell bulk items. They may be doing bundles where you can get meal deals for the holidays. That's something that I've seen quite a bit of just recently. And for a lot of our operators that we've talked to, they literally have changed their dining rooms into staging areas. And for many of them, they're not going to be opening up those dining rooms, not this month, not next month. And in some cases, some of them may not ever be opening back up again. They're going to really move to a curbside delivery model forward. Grocery here in Houston, if I go to the grocery store, I can see some of the top 5 of my favorite restaurants now offer actually meals that you can pick up to go. And a lot of these were full service restaurants, so they didn't have that to go or delivery model necessarily a part of their business acumen. And so those were some things that they were able to work out with these different restaurant groups and support to help them really continue to thrive. And then we've just seen an abundance, especially this summer, and that's kind of going into fall, parklets and patios expanding beyond the dining room, taking advantage of how you can have more outdoor seating so people can have and honor that social distancing, that those 6 feet away from each other. And restaurants now are more than ever are having to return to tech in a whole new way. It's completely different than what it was even just a year ago, where they had a little bit more flexibility into making a decision on saying, do I really need this now? Maybe I'll hold off into the fall. For some, the reliance on technology was already in place, and pivot to an almost entirely digital restaurant demand gen effort felt really, really natural. But for others, I mean, this was the year where it was like the nice to haves, right? Mobile apps and online ordering tools until it became the most important tech project of your brand. And so, this is just unbelievable how some of these numbers have shot up. I mean, we're talking 80% of restaurants are turning to not just a single type of technology, but all technology to help their business run efficiently. 73% of customers agree that the use of digital technology improves the restaurant experience. And we as consumers, we believe that too, right? So we all want that fast. We want it now. We want that speed to that. So let's talk a little bit more about what are some of the other concerns from operators as now fall is upon us. In some areas of the country, the temperatures have dropped drastically. So what does that mean? What does that mean for the operators today? Shay, let's talk about that. Can you share with us a little bit about what that expectation is as the weather turns a little bit colder and we have New Year's upon us?
Absolutely. So, I mean, I think, honestly, online ordering and delivery are just going to stay here for long term. It's not going to stop tomorrow. It's not going to stop in a few months. It's just going to continue going. A lot of customers have learned to rely on all of them during this, what we call new normal at this time. And the consumer data we're seeing also suggests that it's not just like millennials or Gen Z that are utilizing those tools, like the apps or websites or anything like that. It's whether it's pickup, delivery, ordering just through a third party or anything like that. Even the baby boomers have really learned to embrace those tools. And we also have to realize how much there is. There's so many different things. For example, curbside pickup. You can measure your guest satisfaction and operational performance. And with it being colder and also adapting to the new normal with COVID cases also rising, it's always better to have that backup plan. I don't have to get out of my car to pick up anything anymore. It makes it easier on us to order, drive. It's kind of like a drive-through, but better because I've already ordered. And it just makes it easier. And also with delivery management, you have to own the delivery experience through your delivery people or drivers or anything like that, or even third-party delivery aspects of it, and also reducing fees for you as as the customer. And third-party delivery is extremely needed for so many restaurants to be able to survive through all this chaos, beautiful chaos we live in. So, I mean, how do we get more value from customers' ordering habits? How are we able to help with that? If everyone has been become so reliant on the digital tools for food ordering and delivery, it's also safe to say that those will continue to be an extremely important aspect beyond the days of the pandemic. The question really at this point isn't, are they here to stay, but really now that they're here, how do we make the best use out of them, and how do we maximize their investment? And the answer in a lot of those is the data you get. If used correctly, the digital tools that we have, like the ones we offer, Hunger Rush offers, don't really just create an order ticket in a kitchen. You really create an atmosphere. You create a loyal customer, you're growing your audience, and you have incremental spending as well. You really do need a secure platform that you can trust, a digital ordering platform that, that's purpose-built. And along with digital menus and tablets, offering touch-free options for guests and also enhancing drive-through experiences, that also will increase your revenue. When I can just pull up through a drive-through and I have somebody waiting on me, not have to wait to get to the window to order, with those tablets and all that stuff, it makes things a lot easier, from day to day, I guess. But how do we get the most out of our integrated digital tools? For example, with digital tools and performance analytics, a lot of successful restaurant brands can really start to look and behave like e-commerce organizations. And again, that just brings in so much more to our online ordering part. Jamie, if you would like to kind of speak more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Shay. Yeah, absolutely. When you were talking about curbside, we've done so much this year. So we actually had our kiosk product that was getting ready to get released earlier this year, and then right in February, when everything started to kind of have some rumblings, and by March when we started to see the shutdown, we made a huge pivot within our business. Right, we said, okay, so where are our priorities? What are we anticipating is going to happen? And so we actually tabled kiosk for a while, and we put all of our emphasis on what did we need to do for curbside, what did we need to do for contactless. We anticipated that these things were coming, and with that it became a huge drive around what we needed to do better, even on the online ordering side. We knew that were some things that we thought might have been nice to haves was now going to be must haves, and are going to be requirements for our customers, because that's what we have to do. We have to make sure that we're going to be constantly overachieving and then being able to provide more. Restaurant owners and marketers are able to understand which orders are the most profitable and which customers are as well, right? So you want to build programs that bring more high value customers into your fold. You want to work towards retaining existing as well as trailing customers with timely offers and coupon programs. And this is exactly why loyalty and online ordering work so well together, because those things are really married and embedded into each other to work succinctly. And you want to be able to adjust the efforts to drive incremental visits from customers and encourage traffic during otherwise slow slow times, or if you've had to cut your hours, maybe you need to make some modifications around when you want to accommodate some of those hours. And more importantly, you want to have a clear perspective of how those dollars are spent on marketing and how marketing translates into those other orders. It's all about, not to be cliche, but nourishing your customers with the right touch points. Right now, focusing on hyper local strategies, social media, offering discounts for first time users. If those are things that you're not doing, now is the perfect time to start implementing those things, because if you're not, your competitors are. And I will tell you, we hear from just so many different customers every day, as well as folks that are looking at Hunger Rush as a platform. And that's one of the things that we hear is, well, I didn't really think it was that important. We never really did these kinds of things in the past. But now, because people are at home and they don't have the same visibility as they did when they were busy in their day. They may not be in those same neighborhoods where your restaurant was top of mind because that was the place that they went for lunch. So having to get inventive on how to do some of these things is absolutely critical. Deploying text to order through Facebook Messenger, if you're using social media and want to drive some more channels, including coupons, QR codes, or message through third-party delivery like Shay was talking about. At Hunger Rush, we actually have our own drive delivery management product for those folks that don't want to use third-party delivery and want to keep more dollars in their pocket. We've had a lot of customers that have actually gotten away from that because of the exponential fees. And really, this goes back to what we talked about earlier. It goes back to data, having the ability to know your data, control that data, and having and owning that data is more important than ever. And it's going to continue to be that important as we get into 2021. Some other things that are really going to be great to keep top of mind is, tracking your yield on individual items. So if you've had to increase your menu, which a lot of the folks that we talk to have, your yield is what you actually get from an item. So if the burger costs $9.25, but adding bacon makes it closer to $11, tracking what that profitability is. Average check size, your frequency of visits, your customer lifetime value, and most importantly, re-engaging with customers. Oftentimes, this is the one thing that we hear the most from even from our own customers, to say, hey, can we do a roadmap review? Or what, I'm using the loyalty module, but I don't really think that I'm using it the way that I should be using it. Like, can we do a review? Can you kind of show me, like, what are some other ways that customers are using it and really getting the most out of those things? And so these are things that, oftentimes, and I'm just as bad about doing this, I'll buy something and then there's like certain features I really, really love about that product. And then there's other features where I'm like, I'll look into that a little bit later. And I've got a model that kind of works for me with one of those features, but I'm not really getting the most out of that tool. And when you can turn that knob just a little bit more and turn that from 50% to 75% to 90% and really start using the tools the way that they are meant to be built, it will help put your business into superdrive. And that's one of the things that I love about how loyalty programs and online ordering platforms can really help people be successful. And we've seen folks that came to us that didn't have either of those things, and they were really starting from scratch. And they said, what can I do? How can I do this? How can I get up and running quickly? And it's been just so fantastic to watch folks that were managing everything through spreadsheets or, through kind of more antiquated different platforms. And now they have this robust reporting tool. They can actually see all of their sales in real time. They can actually see what their customers are buying, what time of day their customers are buying those things, and what they like the most with them. So making sure that you're always engaged with those customers and re-engaging with them. So all of a sudden, if Shay or Jamie, who always buys tacos from you on Taco Tuesday, because it is Tuesday, right? And then, 2 Tuesdays go by and we haven't bought a taco, it might be a great time to send out an offer to us and a little reminder, hey, we've got a margarita and taco special this evening, or we've got a happy hour special. Obviously margaritas, I like margaritas, so I'm going to go with that. But it's a great opportunity to really leverage this data with your brand and provide a more digital, robust experience in the era where dining rooms are sadly becoming a little bit more secondary. One of the other things we always like to ask questions before we start the webinar, and we hone our webinars to really help answer questions that folks that are coming. It's not just about what we have to say. We really want to know what's important to you. So we've gotten a lot of questions actually at the beginning of this webinar about marketing. So I really want to dive into that for a minute. Today, every restaurant is different. However, a lot of restaurants are all dealing with a lot of the same challenges. Some do have open dining rooms. Others are only offering to-go options right now. Some do curbside, others do delivery, some do a little bit of all of those. Some are on Grubhub, some are on Postmates, Uber Eats, other food delivery apps. And others choose digital tools of their own to do. And we get a lot of questions around that too. Hey, I'm already using these tools. Can it integrate into the Hunger Rush platform? Or, hey, I've got this, but I don't know if I'm getting the results that I needed. Is there something that Hunger Rush can do that maybe I don't know about that can help us do even more, can help us provide even a better experience to our customers? And it's more complicated and more uncertain than ever, especially with the internet. I was joking with a friend of mine the other day that what would we have ever done before Google Maps, right? And I'm aging myself here, but I used to have key maps. And so we'd have to like plot things and look it out, and you go to, F4 to figure out where you were going. And then now thinking back on that, to think like that used to be the process of like, if I got lost, I had to pull my car over, get the key map out and kind of look at those things. And now it's just matter in seconds. I mean, now you can ask Alexa, where are you going, right? You can use Siri for all of these different things. Everything's automated in your car. So just the exponential amount of digital tools that are available to us today versus even 5 to 7 years ago is just crazy. Except that in uncertainty, which we are definitely living in, a new way of operating is rising to the cream of the crop, right? So based on what we've seen, the brands that are agile, they're agile in their menu execution, their in-store digital operations. They pivoted right when all of this craziness started to happen. I will say the thing that was even the most surprising to me is the operators that we've seen that were really willing to completely rethink their approach to food service during this pandemic are the ones that are just overly exceeding and thriving. They're actually, we've got quite a few customers that are opening second and third locations right now. We've got a lot of our franchisees that are in hyper growth right now, which is fantastic to see. Even though there's a lot of folks that are not doing so great, it's that positivity where you see that there are still folks that are flourishing because of that adaptation. So what are some of the marketing key factors that are our predictions in 2021? I think AI is going to play a big role in 2021. It's already a big part of data analysis today, and it's going to continue to grow as we start using personalization. Voice search will become more prevalent. I mean, I am so spoiled with my voice search, but I think that we're even going to see it start to become more of a play in the restaurant space with order to pay and order to play. And even some restaurants testing out with using robots as servers or to actually do food delivery where you can have a two-way conversation with robots. And these bots now have become so popular with being able to execute on command that I think we're going to see a big piece of that. Not that I think it's going to dominate in 2021, but I definitely think that it's going to be a more focused in the marketplace. Mobile friendly everything, making sure your websites are mobile friendly and the impact that it has on search. And having integration into your website. If you don't have online ordering, what can you do to be able to do that and not have to go to a third party app that's going to open up in another browser and you don't have control over the way that it looks and feel. You want those things to be native. Local search listings, have you looked at your local search lately? Have you gone into Google Maps? Have you gone into Bing? Have you made sure all of your information is updated and correct? Using image optimization is a fantastic way. People, I'm a visual person and most people are, especially when it comes to food. So the more amazing pictures that you can have and really using it as a contest for your customers, right? Like post pictures, have them post them for you. I mean, there's some amazing Instagram posters out there. My daughter, she's just a whiz with all of the filters and everything else. She makes me look much younger and better every time she takes a picture of me. Hone in on these people. If it's not your forte, like find other people that it is their forte and, give them some free food and ask them to come take all your pictures for you. And also looking like orders direct to the kitchen with digital and KDS. So what Shay was talking about, that speed, right? It is all about speed now. So the minute that I'm sitting at home on my couch and I'm like, man, I'm really hungry. I think I'm going to have pizza today, or I want a burger, or Taco Tuesday. We're going to go with tacos because it's Taco Tuesday. I want to be able to order my tacos. I want to know when I can pick up my tacos or if they're delivering to me. I want to know when they're delivering to me and when they're going to be there. Because I'm also watching my show on television and I want to time everything so that way I can, keep my sanity, right? So that's going to be a big thing. So when you've got that direct ordering channel directly to the KDS, it's saving seconds per ticket. That means that you can process and produce more orders per minute which equates to more revenue, right? So more revenue in, faster they can get out the door, the more revenue you're going to see in the profitability of your business. Leveraging your email database, I can't talk about this one enough. The amount of customers that we talk to on a daily basis that have, I mean, tens and thousands sometimes of customers, and they're like, I've got like 32,000 customers, but I'm not really sure. Like, I'm only probably connecting with maybe 10% of them. What can I do? Activate those customers. This is the perfect opportunity. I mean, every day is an opportunity to re-engage and to get those folks back eating at your establishment. And the more that you do and the less that others do, the more you're going to win. So we're going to see a huge push with a lot of these new different types of technology, integrated technology. Hunger Rush has invested drastically in that for 2020 to make sure that in 2021, we're empowering our restaurateurs to do even more. And reporting, loyalty database, all of these things should be integrated. It should be easy to view. It should be easy to see. And you want to be able to get the most out of all of those things. So you know exactly what you need to do with each of those customers and how you need to market to them a little bit different. QR codes, I mean, this is something that is so simple, but it's interesting. I still see a lot of restaurateurs that I visit, and I try to go to at least 1 or 2 restaurants a week. Sometimes it's just for pickup or for takeout, but I love supporting my local restaurants. I live in Houston, where we're a huge foodie city, and we've got so much amazing food, and I don't want to see restaurants shut down. And so for me, I'm always like, oh, these guys are doing this and these guys are doing this. And, and the ones that I see really, really flourishing are the ones that are just even doing the simplicity part. Get rid of the print menus. You don't need them anymore. Put everything on paper. The more that you show those consumers that everything is around touch-free, touchless, you're creating a digital experience. And you don't even have to be a digital person. We've got a few customers who are really not that tech savvy whatsoever. They call us anytime that they need something, and they're like, how do I do this? How do we do that? And we help them with that. We help them get up and running super fast with that, because we want to help them be successful in that digital realm. So you're going to see a lot more around QR codes, order to pay at the table, digital menus. I think you're going to see a big push of that. There's already a good bit of that that's out there, but I think it's going to become more of the new norm as we really dive into 2021. So a lot of that's going to change a little bit. And then, along with all of these marketing things, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a marketer. Marketing can be challenging. And that's one thing we do hear from folks all the time too. They're like, I'm not a marketer. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. You don't have to know how to do it all. There's so many amazing companies out there that can help you. But what is critically important is that you got to have the right tech platform and you got to have the right partner. We've all experienced at some point in our life where we thought it was a good idea to team up with someone, and then we realized maybe that person wasn't the best person to team up with, right? Because they weren't a subject matter expert. I wasn't a subject matter expert. And what I know now is that you got to find those people that are subject matter experts in those fields and really team up with those folks. One thing that Hunger Rush is a subject matter expert in is helping customers be successful. We've been around for 20 plus years. We've actually been around for over 45 years, but really our software as a service, or what we really are. The focus forward is we are solutions as a service provider. It's not just about the software. We don't want to be just a service provider to you. It's not just about a widget. It's really about that platform that's going to help exponentially drive so much of your business from a profitability. And we don't want you to ever have to think about going to another point of sale company. We want to be that true partner to you for life. So one of the things, and we're going to talk about this in just one second, is some of the changes that we have made in 2020. We took a good look at what we were doing well, what we were not doing well, where there was a lot of opportunity and low-hanging fruit for us to pivot quickly and make those changes. And we've spent a lot of time, and hopefully for some of the folks on here, I know that I've talked to you guys directly. For those that I have not spoken to, I look forward to it. I want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly, because that's the only way we all get better, right? And I want to make sure that we're providing and continuing to provide great experiences forward. That's why Shay's my partner on that, right? So she's helping me actually implement all of the feedback and the things that we're hearing from our customers that say, if you did this, that would be really awesome. Or what if you did this, or have you thought about this? Those are the things that we love to hear. So having the right technology that works for you is also important. And I say this, even though I work for a restaurant management system solution company, not every provider is going to be the right fit. We may not be the right fit for you, but we hope that we are. We hope that we can help solve your problems. But what's even more important is you got to find that company that says, you know what, these people, they care about me, they're going to help me grow, and they're going to help my business be successful. And that's what's absolutely most important. So whether it's with Hunger Rush, whether it's with someone else, you got to find that company that makes you feel that way, that you go, you know what, I trust these guys. I know they're going to help me and hold my hand and help me get to where I need to be. One of the big changes that we made was really from point of sale. You saw this probably on our title slide, to point of scale. We want to help our restaurateurs scale. And you know what? That doesn't mean that you need to become like a super franchise and have 50 different locations. We have a lot of folks that are like, you know what? I just want to open 2 locations, or 3 might be cool, but 5, 6, 7, 8, however many that number is. We've got some customers that are like, I just want to stay at 1, but I want to still scale my business. I want to do more. I want to operate like the big guys, but I want to kind of stay in this domain. And that's what we've done. So 2020 was about taking things back and starting to rebuild at a foundational level. We wanted to make things that are easier to use. We wanted to make sure that our platform was fully integrated. We wanted to make sure, and we've been working diligently on this, on great reporting, our product mix reports, our sales, our inventory. Shay is the product manager over loyalty and point of sale. They promoted her into this role because she has so much knowledge about how to make these things even better. Self-service capabilities, you're going to see a ton of that. Text, voice, processes forward. All of these things are absolutely critical to helping our customers have the best platform that they possibly can as a restaurant management system solution. And that's what we were focused on. And that's what we've been hyper focused on for the last couple of months. And so that way, when we go into 2021, we can do even better. So let's talk about tech forward for a second, right? So I just said a whole lot of stuff there. So what are the things that Hunger Rush is focused on? Consumer data, no contact, and continuing to grow that reach, off premises, and how we can help people do even more around delivery as well as payments, and interoperability. I mean, that is the key word for 2021. It's about self-service, interoperability, and data. Those are the things that we are hyper focused on, as well as marketing. I mean, these are the things that everybody needs to run their business effectively. And in order to do those together, you have to have interoperability. You've got to have a fully integrated system. So real quick, Brian, we'll just talk about like what's next for Hunger Rush, right? And I put kind of a timeline approach because I thought it was only equitable for us to do since we've done about 20 webinars this year. So we talked about kind of what was happening at the beginning of 2020. Now we're going to talk about what's next for Hunger Rush. So let's look at our look forward into 2021, since we only have a few minutes left, and talk about what the timeline is going to look like from now into Q2, Q4. So one of the big changes that we made, we rebranded this year. We changed our vision and our mission statement to be the leading restaurant management system built to optimize customer engagement and effectiveness of operations. And our mission is to empower restaurants with technology that showcase and improve their guest experience. And so how do we do that? There's a reason that we redid our vision and mission statement, because we wanted to be an absolute for where we're going in 2021. So as we look forward into 2021, this in November, we've already started with new pricing models to offer subscription services, as well as the ability for people to pay for hardware up front. We've been doing a plethora of pilot tests to have new website builders, where now we're actually enabling our customers to where they can build their own website. They don't have to come to us and pick a template that only gives them X amount of options. Now they have the ability to do so much more in a guided fashion and can do it very, very quickly with all of their brand guidelines and everything that they need to be successful and have that true brand ownership. We've got new hardware options that are slicker and slimmer and leaner. And then we've got just a tremendous amount of things that are happening at the core of our platform that are going to provide even more flexibility, more hardware agnosticity, and the ability to have above store management reporting. So you don't have to be tied to your terminal. You don't have to go to the store to look at your reports anymore. You can do it from your phone, anytime, anywhere, at any time. So it is all about empowering you to self-service yourself in the way that you need to, and to self-service your customers however you need to service them wherever you are. So with that, let's open this up to questions. We can talk about timelines that we've got a whole lot more stuff coming, so more than happy to. And let's see what we can do to help you guys get your questions answered.
Absolutely. Well, I have a few questions here that came in from the audience. I'm going to go with the first question from Mr. Matt B. He wants to know, have you guys seen a lot of adoption of text to order with Facebook? And I assume I don't know who to actually ask, because I guess you guys are both really knowledgeable on all that stuff. So I'm just going to put it out there in the ether, and whoever speaks first speaks.
Yeah, we don't track the Facebook part of that from text to order. That's something that an operator can do on their own. So we don't actually have to do that integration for them. We've got lots of things that we do have a Facebook integration that is available. We're actually going to be doing a lot more around social as well as text, order, and voice going into 2021, but we don't report on the Facebook data. That's something that you as a restaurant operator can actually set up yourself, and that way you have access to that data. That's not something we would even see.
Okay. So, but it is something that they can access themselves, and it's available. Yeah, it's just not something that's done.
And I'm more than happy to send, and we do this too, right? So even things that we don't necessarily do internally, I'm more than happy to send some information on how you can set those things up for yourself if that's something you're interested in.
Okay. I think this one maybe goes towards Shay. I know you were speaking about this earlier. As far as contactless, what do you guys have for not having to send an employee outside to get a payment? I mean, making it true contact, where you were talking about, you don't even have to get out of your car anymore. Obviously, somebody's going to have to deliver the food, but the less contact, the better, obviously. I mean, tablets, or kiosks, I mean, what kind of integration and technology do you guys have along those lines?
So we have the tablets where the customer can absolutely go outside and get their cards, ran, or if they do if they order, web pickup, web curbside, however you like to call it, the payment is online. So they're already paid for their food. All they have to do is show up. Once they're there, they can just let the restaurant know that they're there. They have a little option to put in there that, hey, I'm here. So the restaurant knows that, oh, okay, hey, the customer's here. So we'll just take their order out. And that's already been paid for, obviously, through the online process. But again, yes, we do have the new tablets that have the NFC on them, as well as going out to the customer with the tablet, taking the payment. They don't even have to touch anything. They can just put their card on there or their phone on there or whatever it is and get it paid.
When I did, there was another question about, I know NFC was mentioned, but that super explain, what is NFC?
Jamie, if you want to, you can go ahead.
No, sorry. I apologize. I need to stop with the acronyms all the time, right? So near field communication is what NFC stands for. EMV is another term that you may hear out there, and that's when you insert your card into the card reader, and that provides that security layer that you're looking for to ensure that you've got a true payment. So NFC, a lot, if you've got one of the smartphones, right? It's really kind of the wave of the future with contactless touch. I mean, a lot of people don't want to get their credit card out. They don't want to have to do all of that stuff. You can do everything just with your watch, or you can tap your phone and have that flexibility.
That's Knight Rider. Knight Rider is now the prison where I can talk into my watch and have my car pull around.
Back sometimes,
so we had a couple questions from the registration. There's somebody out there who says that they run a pizza business. They mainly do consulting in the pizza business. They were wondering if they can get a robust Hunger Rush manual so that they can educate maybe their clients, so that they can speak about it educatedly to their clients and send people your way. Is that something you guys offer, working with consultants and things like that?
I don't actually know the answer to that question. I don't know that you would want to look at our manual, though. It's going to be very technical, and it's really more about troubleshooting. It's more on the technical side of it. I mean, that's what it's meant for, is for customers to troubleshoot should they have a challenge with their integration or implementation. But you know what? Shoot me an email. My email is going to be at the end of this. We can talk about, your consultantship and how you go about things. I'm more than happy to answer any questions and help if I can.
Yeah, and it's actually on the slide right now, jamie.schwartz@hungerrush.com. That's what I was going to say. Aside from the technical manual, if there's information that they can give clients to pass them in your direction, or just kind of the highlights of what you guys do.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got lots of one sheets and kind of overviews and decks and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, if you're interested in having kind of an overview, we've got videos, we've got all kinds of cool stuff out there available. So more than happy to pass that along.
Somebody asked a question, what role would AI play as far as the upcoming new technology? And every time I think that, I'm going to nerd out and just think the singularity, the machines are taking over. But I mean, what role would AI play in as far as contactless ordering and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I mean, artificial intelligence is built into machine learning and almost everything that we're doing, right? So, a lot of the integration work that we're working on, and the reason I'm saying we are working on is because these are all things that we have that are part of this really foundational push on what we can provide that's going to really just blow our customers' expectations away, are coming with some of these new features that we have, whether with it's in our website builder, our text to order platforms, voice enablement features that we have, how we're restructuring some of our kiosk enablement, right? So voice enablement may be a thing that we're going to really focus on. And again, a lot of the stuff that we have in play, some of it's still in pilot format. We haven't necessarily flushed all of it out. But I will tell you that AI is a big part of what we're focused on for 2021. So you are going to see some components of some of those things happen. Some of them may be early adopted. Some of those things may come later in the year, since this is something that's kind of newer to us. But, you'll see a lot more with how those kind of chatbot experiences, as well as even from the predictive learning when it comes to how we're looking at querying data on the back end, right? So how can we query data faster for our customers to where we can do even more deep dive analytics to where we can provide different types of metrics around segmentation, buying habits, the way that our customers are communicating through our platforms. So you'll see a lot of that tech stack that's actually built into the infrastructure.
Awesome. Well, I mean, you guys are already thinking 5 steps ahead, so that's great. I guess this one, I'm going to ask this one to you, Shay, real quick. How can I improve customer retention with the Hunger Rush system?
I mean, there's different ways, I guess. Making sure that you follow up with customers, making sure you're, if a customer has a complaint for any reason, following up on that, being able to provide some sort of backup plan for them. Let's say, oh, I ordered a pizza or a burger or tacos because it's Taco Tuesday and we just have to keep implementing that today. If there's something messed up with my order, what can you provide for me to fix that? What can you do for me to make your customers happy or to make me happy as a customer? And again, with that goes back to loyalty as well, and having that integration. You're able to, send them here's 5% off, here's 10% off, here's what we can do. Let's replace your order. Oh, I haven't seen you in a couple of days, like Jamie was mentioning earlier. Let me send you something to incentivize that and tell you, hey, if you show up today, I'm going to give you 10% off of this, or you get free breadsticks or free cookie or anything like that. So, I mean, I think also having your customer data is helpful. It's extremely helpful. And with Hunger Rush, it's all together. Everything is integrated. Every time you put an online order in, that information is saved. Your customer information saved. You're able to go back to it. You're able to see your metrics and see what you've spent, what you haven't spent, what you've done. So there's a lot of aspects to it.
Well, yeah, and that's great. Yeah, and then they can reach out to you guys. Again, they can reach out to SJ.
It's actually SNAJJAR.
Okay, so S Najjar, SNAJJAR at Hunger Rush. Yeah, I mean, you guys are very accessible. I know you guys are like always there. You almost look forward to these questions because these questions help you make a better product. But there's another question that's kind of a follow-up to that. I want to kind of lead into this other one, which is actually mostly answered, as you just said. How easy is it to track your customer's order history in the timeline? Seems like it's pretty well kept track of and very accessible. Can you guys set up can you automatically set something up to send out a we miss you coupon if you haven't, so that you don't have to go back and check it? But if you haven't heard from somebody in say 30 days, like a month, you send them a coupon. Hey, we miss you. It doesn't have to be a coupon, just a message or something like that.
Right. So
you have those auto notifications?
Currently, we don't, but that is coming up in the near future. That's something in 2021 that we do plan on having automatic, things sent out. Currently you're able to query that and get the information you need for, people that you haven't seen in 30 days or 15 days or whatever the timeline is. But yes, that is something that we're working on, and that's something that will be implemented in 2021, most definitely.
Yeah, so those kind of go into the email marketing CRM features. So it kind of taking outside of loyalty, that's usually falls within a different bucket from a technology stack. And this is where is a huge focus for us for Q1, Q2, 2021. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah.
All right, great. Well, I've got, we just got another one. Kelly, she says, I guess this is a question, but you do have push notification features in the app. Or
Correct.
Maybe that's Kelly just making a statement.
No,
Yes.
yeah, in the mobile app, yes, we do.
In the mobile app, we
Okay.
do have push notifications. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to tell you guys, we are so excited about 2021, and we hope you guys are too. I mean, this is actually our last webinar of the year. And Brian, I'm happy that it's with you, sadly, but I'm happy at the same time because we've got to spend a lot of time with you. And we really want to thank all of you for joining us today and over the last few months. And we hope to see you again in 2021 as we launch a slew of new exciting solutions as part of the Hunger Rush brand, and talk about how we can, help you do better. And I'm going to leave us with this if we don't have any more questions. But
I've got one.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, all right.
What's your question?
And I think this is a good one. What is the minimum off-premise needs that you guys suggest? They have nothing right now. What is the bare minimum just to get them started on the track to do it? Be it a online app or a POS or some of the the tablets or kiosks. What do you guys suggest?
I mean, I'm going to say online ordering. If you've got none of those things right now, you need at least that, because we have delivery that's actually built into our POS feature within online ordering. So you don't have to have Drive or delivery management. I mean, that's really for folks that have like a whole, a slew of drivers that they're managing. And, because with that, it has built-in curbside, it has vehicle tracking in there. You have all these different, you have email notifications out there. You have order pickup times. We have an order tracker if you want kind of that whole order tracking experience. So at bare minimum, that's what I would go with. What about you, Shay?
I would agree. I think online ordering would be the first thing I would look into. And also with that, you are still able to get all your customer data with there if you want to grow from there on out. Anything that comes through your online ordering is stored, and you'll be able to see, your customers and run reports to see your metrics and everything else like that. So I would agree with Jamie. I mean, if you don't have anything and you want to start off, I think that would be the best place to start.
Well, it sounds like it's kind of all encompassing right there, and anything else, I hate to use the term bells and whistles, just makes it better. We'll put it that way. At that point, it increases everything that all the information that you can track, and but this is going to be that be all beginner kit that people need through Hunger Rush. Is just get the online ordering.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's like Thanksgiving dinner, right? I mean, the turkey is great, but I mean, come on, like the green beans and the mashed potatoes.
Without the stuffing and the potatoes and all that stuff, it's not complete.
Yeah. So when you put all of those things together, I mean, really, you just have a more complete moment, memory, excitability, full belly, right? But also, I mean, those things are connected. They work well together. And they're meant to complement each other. I mean, that's why we built these products out in the way that we did. And, keep in mind, for those that don't know us, Hunger Rush, and I don't like talking about this too much because I don't want to pigeonhole us into one kind of view, but we started in the pizza industry. So our platform was literally built by pizza people that said, what can we do to be fast, efficient, delivery to go? I mean, that is the core of our business. A lot of our competitors are out there. I mean, they facilitate all these different folks. And so it's kind of a one solution fits all. Our core of what we built is around online ordering, delivery, and takeout. And so everything else that we've added onto it is like you said, it's all that addition on top of it. It's the icing and the ice cream and the sprinkles on top of the cake.
The sprinkles on top. And who would have thought we'd be in this situation right now? So serendipitous that you guys did that. But I mean, the pizza industry itself is kind of geared towards takeout and delivery. So this video will be available for review after the fact. And I want to let you go ahead and continue, Jamie. You had something very poignant to say.
I don't know how poignant it is. It actually has nothing to do with me. It actually one of our customers at Hunger Rush, his name is Ronnie at Roostar. If you're in the Houston area, he has an amazing Vietnamese restaurants, two of them that are just absolutely fabulous. And one thing that it reminded me as we did a little video montage the other day, he says, if there's anything I can leave for the rest of this year and going into 2021 is let's be at least 1% better each day. And so that's what we're doing at Hunger Rush. We're going to continue to do that 1% better each day. I hope that all of you also incorporate that. And again, if you guys have any questions for us at all, we're here to help.
Absolutely. I mean, I honestly was very poignant. It's great. If everybody adopts that attitude, we're going to get there a lot faster. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, for your time, your attention, and your questions. Again, you will receive an email with a follow-up video if you want to go back and watch it and get some more information if you maybe missed it. I want to thank our speakers, Jamie Schwartz and Shay Najjar of Hunger Rush. Also our producer, Emily from Hunger Rush as well. She's always there in the background, making sure things go right. I'm Brian Hernandez with the PMQ webinar series. All I can say is stay safe and stay sane and treat everybody like you want to be treated.
Amen. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, everyone.